alcohol, the strength's been sort of pushed back, and it's a lovely, savoury, spicy,
tobacco-y.
afterbreath. Yeah.
It is. It's almost like as if you've been smoking a pipe.
I would say
That's
that we shouldn't say this in the modern world, but it's a kind of a man's whiskey, isn't it?
Do you think?
It's not a light-hearted whiskey. It's a proper, I suppose, a proper grandpa's whiskey. That's exactly what you expect your grandpa to be drinking. But then again, we're at that age now.
You're maybe right.
It's got that kind of...
It has got that. It's a very, very rich
proper
flavour to it.
Old-fashioned Scottish whiskey. That's what that is. It's actually when we went back to the Harris Distillery to collect the bottles of whiskey, I was introduced to M's husband, Sam.
Aye.
And he was
Good
telling
chap.
us that
Good chap.
that the sons had kind of met me the night before when I was a little a little worse for wear. But he was saying how the young lads love to hear the old boy stories.
Oh, right.
And at that point you go, so am I telling
You're now
old
an
boy
old boy.
stories?
You're
But
now
then
an
I
old
went
boy.
on to say that, well, the old stories are the best with the old boys because they've been told that many times and they've been exaggerated that many times that they're flawless. They're perfect stories.
Well, talking about stories, I got a book there, and it was a book of stories from South Uist. And this was, or maybe just Uist, and this was stories that had been translated from Gaelic. Old stories. And they're all about folk getting murdered and the wives getting heads chopped off and...
Well, there was nothing else today.
Yeah. And it's like... But I thought there was one thing, it was about a chap that was heading on for his 60s and he's like, I'm needing a new wife. Don't know what happened to the other one, but he's needing a new wife.
She's
And
broken.
I'm like, aye, but you'll struggle to get somebody less than half your age without going off the island. I think, what? How does that work? Struggling to get something there.
Well, you got to trying. It's very difficult for us to try and imagine that time. I mean, for a start, the spirit was pretty much.
Well, it was just
I mean,
Ho Chin. No, it was just.
it was raw spirit.
It was just.
It would be anything from 50% to 80% proof, all depending on when you got your bottle delivered, Monday to Thursday.
Aye.
And I mean, it must have just knocked hell at you, these old boys. I mean, and they were on it probably pretty much every day.
I'm sure that wouldn't be the case. I can't imagine they're all.
And as we know, and you've commented a few times, when we now go back to a sort of 40% or a spirit that's around the sort of 38% or so, it kind of lacks something. So if these boys were drinking this clear spirit at 60, 70, 80%, I suppose they got used to it.
And the thing was, they lived good lives.
Well,
they lived a good. Oh, when you go to the graveyard, they're no dying young.
Yeah.
No. You go to Glasgow and they were dying young.
Yeah, cities, I mean, coal mines, foundries, all of this, cities, your average sort of age, 40s. 40s would be an old man.
Oh,
Mid-40s would be you would be getting to a good age. But these old fishermen and stuff, or maybe they just look, maybe all that whiskey and all that hard weather and all that.
They just look that age.
Murdering of the woman.
Chasing sheep keeps you young. Yeah, that must be.
Right, that one's done. So that was just our little clear the throat, shall we say. A little warm up, and it has warmed me up. Definitely a very pleasant, savoury.
That's nice, Rom. I'll let you.
And she's at that stage now. Yeah, she's at that stage now that you'll keep that in the cupboard for
that's what I've been doing.
months.
That's it. We've talked about that before. It's that proportionate.
Yeah.
Proportionate release, you can maybe call it.
Yep. Proportionate.
Or is it disproportionate?
Release.
Is it disproportionate?
Well,
Because
the first half is.
First half goes, zoom,
Yes.
and then it
Then she slows down. Then she really slows down. And then she's just put to the back of the cupboard.
Yeah, so it's a
Until that one day when
parabola.
What happened this winter, what happened with us, was there was the booze cupboard, the whiskey cupboard, and it was just full of those. So we had no option but to
start
clear a
emptying
little
them.
space, which I thoroughly enjoyed.
Well, it's when you misjudge it though. And you think, right, that bottle's just going to have to finish, and then you realise that actually there's a wee bit more in it.
I found myself some days. It is quite funny that happens. Yeah.
Yes.
I done that with the Harris gin when we were doing a little old-fashioned cocktail there just last week or this week.
But the gin's a bit easier.
And I poured it in, and I thought to myself, you know, for all that's left, and it must have been the same again.
It's harder to tell in the gin. That's a tree trunk.
A petrified tree.
Petrified. It's
Scared to stone.
solid.
It's a petrified tree.
It turned back and looked at Odessa.
And when I got it, is it who?
It's not Odessa.
No.
With the snakes.
I know.
Is that not Odessa?
No.
Medusa.
So when I seen it, I recognised that, but I'm
half
thinking,
right.
aha. And this side was still covered in, well, the rest of the petrified, but unshaped. Just the sedimentary rock.
Yes.
So when I whacked that off of there, first human eyes to actually
where'd you get
glimpse. Up at if you go up to the Broch, up to the road up to Torwood Castle, when they were bringing in the new water main, they actually dug into all of the rock to put the new water main in for the hospital.
Ah.
So when they backfilled it all, you can virtually walk along, and if you keep your eye on it, and as it's a burn, so the water obviously washes down stuff. So every so often you just find one.
Find one of those. Oh, that's cool.
I found that. I must have 3 or 4 of them by now. And that's without really looking for them. They are just there.
So here's a question for you. There you go. Petrified tree. But what kind is it?
I don't know. I don't think it actually has a name. And if it does have a name,
I would say that
it'll
looks like a Scots
Latin.
pine.
It's certainly.
It's got the shape that kind of. It's maybe not broken, but yeah.
But here's the really interesting thing. The thing that really boggles your brains. It's just you can't get your head around it. That is anywhere from 50 to 250 million years old. So that grew someplace on this planet. But wherever that was dug up, geographically, is that the word?
It was somewhere else in the world.
That was someplace else in the world.
So it's not going to be a Scots pine, is it?
So it looks like it's off a much
going to be
warmer climate. I mean, we've all seen the dinosaur movies, and this is basically obviously where they got the information from, because they all sort of have that dimpled look about them. And if you actually think back to things like monkey puzzle trees, they've got kind of more of that. But yeah, it could be 250 million years old.
Put it down before you break it.
Well, at the end of the day, it's just
I can survive that long until Dave got hold of it.
Oh, we sat here with a little dentist drill thing and chipped away at it.
No. Oh, to clean it up?
No, I hit it with a blow lamp and then I hit it with a hammer and it fell out.
Hey, I want one of those. You can keep your eye open for next time.
We'll go and find
one of those.
We'll go and find one.
For my, because hopefully not too long I'll be able to fix the roof of my garage. And when I'm getting the timber to fix the roof of my garage, I'll maybe get my timber to build my situtery.
Your bar?
My bar.
It's long overdue.
It is.
It's long overdue.
Past 6 months I've had a big impact. Hey, hero.
I find myself often off an evening now that it's not Baltic here in Scotland, is basically just heading out here with a bottle of something.
Yeah.
And it's just very nice. There's something that it's a bit like a bar and a pickup. Men like to lean on pickups and we like to lean on bars, don't we? It's just a scenario.
Didn't know this. Perfect.
If you can lean on something, I think it needs this was a temporary bar. I think she could be doing with just a little.
You reckon?
A little bit higher up, or we could dig a hole back here.
Well, you know that quite often you'll get bars and they're quite deep. It's a bad idea. The bar should always be so that the barman can comfortably put the drink well within your grasp. So that you're just like that. You should put it where you are. If it's a big bar, deep bar, no use. Yeah. But then the difficulty with that is they're like, yeah, but we want to house our
Yeah, but
fridges and freezers.
yeah, because a bar actually has sort of that space, so
know,
it's got the work,
get a
it's
sink
got that
in the
working
rest,
area
aye,
before
aye,
it even
yeah.
gets to the bar.
So a number of times we've done bars and you'd be doing it, and then the barman turns up and he's like, "No, I don't like this bar because the amount of stuff they've got in, they're actually back here," and they're like, "Haven't they?"
You got a bad back.
And they end up with back, aye. Or they have to put their drinks down for just no use.
So I
Mind you, it depends where your bar is, because I suppose some places you want to be out with the arm's reach.
Right. Yeah, the bar has to be that long, please. Yeah, I'm pretty sure in Glasgow that is actually very acceptable. There's no man's land in the middle. That's where the drink goes, and then it gets taken.
Is that the same bar with the perspex screen in the slot?
That's the one.
Right,
I do
good.
remember it was a radio station. I can't quite. It would be Radio 2 probably. And someone had visited Glasgow for the first time, and they were going home for something to eat, and they wanted a bottle of wine, and they popped into this shop in Govan, and it had the wire mesh screen with the space. And he went in, and the shopkeeper had asked, "Yes, sir, what would you like?" And he said, "A bottle of wine, please." And the shopkeeper said, "Red or clear?" Red or clear?
That's a good choice.
Nice and simple.
Aye.
We have both red and clear.
One of each.
One each. But yeah, no, I grew up at a time where,
And
where
one
bars...
starts with buck and ends in bar.
That's true. I grew up in a time when it was all about big mahogany bars. If you think back, I never really thought about it, but a large expanse of big red, and it was all high varnished mahogany bars. That was the and the nice big brass bar.
Aye.
That was the
And somewhere to hang your coat, hang your jacket. Them were the days.
sitting at a wee stool, sitting leaning on the bar.
Surely not.
A
Well,
bar's
seeing as how
all right.
you're looking as if you're sitting in the stool.
Are we going to finish this one?
No, I'm not going to finish it. No, but we can have another wee one.
I've got a funny feeling that example you were talking about earlier, when I get a dram and then you get a
we're
dram,
just
you're
having
just
a-
going to go, oh, we'll just go with
We're
that.
just having a wee dram.
We're just having a wee dram.
Aye. Just to remind us how nice it is.
It actually is very nice.
I'll keep the wee bit of taste. I still get that.